trauma of not being seen. As women, we often feel unheard and unseen, but in cases of medical care, this can feel maddening and can be dangerous. And for women, and especially women of color, it's all too common. In fact, women, and especially women of color, suffer from misdiagnosis and extended wait times more than men do. In 2001, Diane E. Hoffman and Anita J. Tarzian published a groundbreaking article in the Journal of Law, Medicine, and Ethics entitled "The Girl Who Cried Pain: A Bias Against Women in the Treatment of Pain," which sought to explain the phenomenon. In the article, the authors found that women are more likely to be inadequately treated because of the societal belief that women cannot judge their own pain, or that a woman's pain is in her head, quote unquote. They also found that the societal belief that women are considered anxious, or emotional, let's be honest, when in pain made it more likely that women would receive sedatives while men would receive pain medication for the same symptoms and complaints, which is just crazy. The authors noted a syndrome that they dubbed the Yentl syndrome, according to which women must prove that they are as sick as men in order to receive the same treatment as men for the same complaints. Joe Fassler wrote about his wife's terrifying experience with Yentl syndrome in The Atlantic. His wife Rachel's ovarian cyst had grown so large that it was weighing on her organs and twisting her fallopian tubes like a sponge being wrung out. In incomprehensible pain, she was told at the emergency room by multiple people in turn, "It's just a bit of pain, honey. You'll have to sit still or we'll have to start over," when she couldn't stop writhing in pain long enough to get her blood pressure taken. She was also told, "Lots of people to go, honey. Don't cry." In fact, they found that the cyst would have been visible through her skin if they had only cared enough to look. All in all, his wife was in the ER for 14 and a half hours for being treated. In the New York Times, Melinda Wenner Moyer interviewed Karen Loftvie-Spencer for her piece, "Women Are Calling Out Medical Gaslighting." Spencer, who is a researcher at the University of Colorado, says that women, and especially women of color, are diagnosed and treated differently than men. The piece mentions that compared with men, women face longer waits to be diagnosed with cancer and heart disease, have less effective care for traumatic brain injury, and are less likely to be given pain medication. Bizarrely and alarmingly, women are twice as likely as men to be diagnosed with a mental illness when their symptoms actually point to heart disease. Part of the problem is that between 1977 and 1993, there was no law requiring the National Institutes of Health to include women and minorities in their medical research, meaning that there's a huge void in knowledge about women's bodies. Recently, the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, there it is again, came out with a report that added Alzheimer's disease and depression to the list of chronic diseases for which women are misdiagnosed in disproportionate to men. The report found the same problems as all the other reports above, including the disparity of treatment between white and black women. Evan Higginbotham, the chair of the committee at the Academy that authored the report, has said that it is long overdue for federal agencies to intentionally commit to a new research agenda that will finally improve our understanding of chronic conditions in women. I couldn't agree more.